I am thrilled to have author Laura Thomas back again. I think we said it's for the third time, probably. Oh, it's such a thrill, Laura, to have you back on Between the Lines. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always so much fun.
You know, we could chat forever, which is a problem actually, because we forget to get to the whole podcast. We start chatting. So, anyway, Laura is here to talk about her third book in the Bite of Betrayal series. It's book three of three. It's called Ribbons of Guilt. Love the cover, love the back cover blurb, and just so you guys know, when this podcast publishes, it'll be July 2nd when we publish. The book comes out on July 5th. So before I forget to say this, you guys have a few days to get the pre-order price. It'll be a good deal, right?
Correct. Correct. Get
So
in there
jump
quick.
jump on that quickly before her publisher changes the price on us. Okay, Laura, tell us what's been happening in your life.
Oh, goodness me. Okay. Um, well, I cannot believe we're recording this June. I can't believe it's June already. It's been
No.
a great year, busy year. Excited to get this particular book out into the big world. I know you said this is book three of three, but I've actually got book four coming out next year.
Oh, well then it says right on the Amazon book three of three.
Well, they don't know yet.
Oh, okay. You haven't told your publisher yet. Well,
No, the
good.
publisher knows. The publisher
Oh,
does know.
okay,
Yeah.
good. Book
I don't
four.
know how that works with Amazon. They do their own thing. I don't
Well,
know.
this is book three of four, people. Forget what I said before. Book three of four, maybe five,
Yes.
maybe
Well,
six.
who knows? Who
We
knows?
just
This
don't.
is the thing. In this series thus far, we have the three sisters. So each one of the sisters has their own story. So once I finished writing this one, Ribbons of Guilt, and handed it into my publisher, I just felt, I don't know about you, but when I come to the end of a series, I just feel so sad.
Yeah.
It's almost like grief of, oh, these people have been part of my life for several years
Oh.
now. And so I was like, oh, is there any way we could do another story? And I've been dying to write a novel with a more mature protagonist, shall we say?
Oh, okay.
Somebody more like my age, kind of like late 50s. So I'm actually the next book that comes out next year, the protagonist is the mom of these three sisters.
Oh, how
So,
clever. Yeah.
and it's also a Christmas novella set in England. So it's got all the things, but we're not here to talk about that yet. But just as a little carrot to dangle.
That's right. All the feels are coming, people.
Oh yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah.
But yes, Ribbons of Guilt. This is at the moment, this is obviously my focus for the next bit here while we're getting it launched and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, other than that, busy with um, chasing my adult kids around Canada and grandkids and all the rest of it. Yeah, living the empty nest life with our French bulldog, as we were just discussing.
We were just discussing our dogs. Had to show her a picture of my little Maltese. We were saying this is really sad when you're empty nesters. All of a sudden, your dogs become your children, and you're
It's
trying to.
true.
And people are rolling their eyes and going, "Oh my gosh!" As if authors aren't weird enough as it is with
Oh, I
us
know.
getting
We're
involved with our
special.
characters, grieving over the loss of characters. We do
It's
that.
okay. It's okay.
It's okay. That's how we bring the books out. So, Ribbons of Guilt sounds like a very interesting story. And I didn't write it down. I wish I had the beginning. It says like a marriage in trouble. What is that first line that you have
Yes,
on there?
it's a marriage in crisis, a
Okay.
betrayer in the wings, a life at stake. Ooh.
Ooh. See, that makes me want to read it right there. I'm ready. And just so you guys know, it's going to be on KU, Kindle
Yeah,
Unlimited, for those of you that, like me, that are voracious KU readers. So that will be available as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
So what inspired, like I think the last time we talked about your story, or maybe it was a time before, but we were talking about a little English cottage that you saw when you were with your sister, I believe.
That's correct. Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind
Yeah.
of yeah. This series all takes place in England, where I'm originally from.
If you didn't
Um,
know, if you didn't guess,
it,
it's not really a Canadian accent she's got going on there, people.
it does sometimes confuse people when I say, yes, I'm from British Columbia. It's like,
Something's wrong with this picture.
Yeah, I know. And with this series, with these three sisters, I've actually flipped my own story. So they've all actually come from Canada and moved to England, which has been a lot of fun. But yes, this whole series started off on when I was visiting my sister in England and had this moment of I actually had a freaky moment of see I don't know if you remember me talking about this. This was a couple of years
Kind of
ago.
scary if I remember
It
right.
was really scary. We were sitting, her husband was the vicar. We were sitting in the vicarage. It was pouring with rain, storming outside. And I just had this in my imagination, vivid picture of a huge grizzly guy with a big beard and a big full-length oil coat stood at the window being lit up from behind by the lightning and just like palms on glass, just kind of that was my like, oh my goodness. Imagine if that happened in this beautiful, charming, tranquil village in the middle of the countryside. And that was what kind of ignited this whole series. Sometimes it takes something weird like that. But yeah, I've gone through the other two sisters and their harrowing stories. So this is the last sister. This is Harriet, and she's a retired ballerina. And I kind of wrote myself into a little bit of a corner because she was married already. So we already knew quite a lot about her
Oh.
from the other two books. So, in the other books, her husband Leo was a little bit questionable. I left him a little bit kind of vague and a little bit suspicious, but we
Yeah.
weren't quite sure why. So, by the time I came to write this book, I had to either decide to kill him off because it had to be romantic suspense, right?
Right.
I'm like, oh no, they're married. So I either had to kill him off.
And sadly, you can't have romance in marriage. How sad is that? Okay,
I
go
know,
ahead.
right? Well, apparently you can because with this one, obviously, I've put their
Oh,
marriage through the ringer and they have to face all sorts of stuff. But I love marriage. When my husband and I are really involved in marriage ministry in our local church. And so I thought, well, you don't see that many marriage relationships in Christian romantic suspense novels. There's a few that are out there, but it's not very often. So I just thought I'd give it a try and see what happened. I really prayed about it because I also didn't want to like, have a huge flop on my hands. People saying, "Get married? I don't want to read this." But
exactly.
these, I mean, Harriet and Leo, they're just, I love both of their characters just individually. And so we've known that there was something a little amiss. And so, yeah, this story just takes us right through a whole bunch for both of them, a whole bunch of, oh, just awful things. I'm so sorry. I'm so
That, you
sorry
know,
to
I
Harriet
think
and
that's how
Leo.
you one of my books actually, Shadow Dancing, was Southern fiction, and it's in a romance set of books, but the couple are married
Oh, there you go.
but they're separated at the very beginning and they're going through some horrible grief. And so you have them separated and have them at each other and him trying to reconcile. He's not a Christian and not
Oh.
understanding why his Christian wife, all of a sudden, because of what they're going through, is basically abandoning her faith, and he struggles with that. So I still believe it's romance because it has a romantic element to it. So I do think you can have married romance. I do.
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I think it
Oh,
would be,
for sure.
well, it's not like you get married and then romance goes, right?
I would hope not.
I know. How long have you
We
been
just
married?
we literally just had our 38th wedding
Oh,
anniversary. So we've been married a long time
you have
and the
been.
romance is still very much
Oh.
alive.
Well, there'll be 20 years this year for us, but this is a second marriage for me. I was a
Right.
child bride, and anyway, we won't get into that, but this is a second marriage for me. But 20 years, that's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And I just it excited me the thought of having a marriage story that ended in healing and hope.
right.
So yeah, managed to work it all in, and so far all the early readers have been really excited about
Oh,
the
good.
story, and it seems to be working well. So
Good.
I'm
Well,
yeah,
and I think that's so perfect because you're having a romantic suspense that's a married couple, giving them the healing and hope that we look for. Because how many times do you see even in Christian marriages are falling apart when things get rough,
Mhm.
somebody walks away or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
we need to have that
Yeah.
hope too, that we can go through a rocky time and we can come back together. And, you know, I think it's hard with all the romance out there when you have people that have been married for a very long time and they're voracious romance readers, right? And they get their mind set on something that's maybe not real. Because we
Hmm.
always come to the happy ending and just like, you know, happily ever after or whatever,
True.
it doesn't go on to tell you how they move on from there. Because
Yeah.
just like life doesn't end that way.
No, even when we do our epilogues, we never do epilogue 15 years later.
No, it's the wedding or it's oh,
Yes.
I'm pregnant or something perfectly
Yeah,
happy. And you
totally.
can have them go through all this strife and all the struggle to get together, but the reality is that's the easy part. I
Hmm.
mean that
It's
that
the beginning.
it's the
Yeah, it's just
beginning
the beginning.
when we're
Yeah.
usually on our best behavior, don't you think? You know, we want to impress.
Totally.
It's like, yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
you have
Like
to be
my
married.
husband and I really enjoy doing pre-marriage mentoring with young couples, and it's so much fun to just get them at that cusp, when everything is like dreamy and rosy, and then we go through the hard stuff with them and get
And then,
like
then you then you tell them the truth. Okay.
a little reality check.
Well, I was
Uh,
amazed reading about, when I was going through my first marriage and I wanted so badly to keep the marriage together because I come from a long line of people that were married forever, and that
mhm.
divorce was not ever in my vocabulary. I didn't believe in it. I didn't want it. I didn't have a choice in it. But I was desperately looking for redemption and seeking help, like Weekend to Remember conference or reading books. But everything I read, it says that a relationship for the first 2 to 3 years from the time you meet, even if you get married a year after, those rose-colored glasses stay on for another good year or two. And then
Mhm.
reality hits. And that's where the work begins. I mean, they call it the 7 year itch, where you're 7 years into a marriage and things start to get a little bumpy because now those rose-colored glasses come off and you see reality as it is. And those things that were so adorable when you first met that person is now the thing that drives you the craziest after 7 years. And so, I think God has got such a great sense of humor to put two people together that don't think anything alike. Their brains don't function in the same way. And,
Yeah.
it's an incredible testament to that iron sharpening iron and walking through that and then coming out the other side stronger.
Yeah, and it's a reminder. I mean, even I think this book is a reminder that the marriage relationship has to be like intentional. It's something that
Mhm.
needs to be worked on constantly. It's not a one and
Absolutely.
done. There's
No.
not like a magic number of years that, and then you're like, oh, phew, we're good.
Yeah, there's waves
It-
that happen. I think there are
yeah,
waves and the
yeah.
ups and downs and the it's interesting when I have this memory of sitting with my ex-husband near the end of our marriage. Now, I wasn't aware it was the end. He'd been off the rails for a while, but I wasn't even aware of it. But we were at a dinner and it was outside at this nice place near where we lived. And there was a table full of maybe four couples that were sitting near us, and it looked like they all go to get dinner together quite often. And they were talking about how when one person in the marriage is struggling and seems to be, I don't know, on the brink of walking away, the other one is the one that brings them back in. And so it's this give and take. And
Hmm.
I remember thinking, I don't know that we have that right now. Clearly, and I
Right.
wasn't even aware. So it really is. You do have to be intentional. They say the grass is always greener on the other side. Well, the grass is greener where you fertilize it, you know,
That's good. I like
where you,
that.
where you take the time to put the time in, to
Yeah.
put the effort in, to sit down and say, hey, something's not quite meshing here. What are we going to do about it?
Hmm. Yeah, and in the book you can see, I mean, we're looking on, right, to see what's going on, and we're like, oh, if only at the beginning they just talked about ABC, if they'd just addressed things early on before it started getting too deep, too messy, too much. Yeah, yeah. I really hope I hope everybody will enjoy reading it and be challenged a little bit by it and encouraged by it
Right.
too. Married or not. I mean, we all know people who are married if we're not married ourselves.
Right.
And whether we've got a fantastic marriage or a challenging one, I'm hoping that this book, it will be an encouragement and will offer some hope. And I certainly don't want to minimalize anybody's marriage struggles or anything like that. That's definitely not my intention.
Right.
But we learn through fiction, don't we? Like
We do.
I learned so much through fiction.
I agree with that. Do the couple
Mhm.
in the story have children?
One, yes.
So I was just thinking, so often when you're young in your marriage and you have kids, your focus is not on the marriage
Yeah.
or the spouse and those things you say, well, if they'd only talked about it earlier, well, that's easy
Yeah.
to say, but when you get distracted by this, you're distracted by that, it makes it much
Hmm.
harder. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Or they end up just doing things for the sake of the child.
Right.
We'll just bumble through somehow because we've got this child. But yeah, as you'll see from the book, things get well, gosh, it's so hard to talk about these things without giving stuff away, right?
Right.
But suffice to say, they really go through the worst case scenario as a family,
Mm.
which, you know, obviously, ultimately, you hope that it's going to bring them back together again somehow. But oh, sometimes I freak myself out, and as I'm writing these these stories, it's like, oh, how can I do this to them? Oh,
Well, I remember reading a craft book, specifically one craft book on writing that talked about here you are with your characters. What is the worst thing that can happen to them? Now make it happen. Like you
oh.
you don't hold back.
Okay, so I've heard worse than that. It's like imagine the worst possible thing that your character can go through. Now make it even worse again. It's like,
Or the
oh,
worst thing they could do, make them do it.
it's just honestly,
It's yeah,
it's amazing we can sleep at night,
I
really.
know. Devious minds. Yeah, it is interesting, but it's also for me as a writer of Christian fiction, when we weave in the faith message of who Jesus Christ is and how there, I just see so often redemption in the most
Hmm.
amazing and most amazing things. We have a young pastor. He's been with us for a couple of years with young children and beautiful family. And we had a weekend of prayer this last weekend. His father had started a ministry, in-depth ministry on prayer. And he came on Friday night and Saturday night and he preached on Sunday. So we had him on the weekend. And he said, it turned out my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, surprised us by showing up at our church. She lives an hour away. And so we
Okay.
don't see her as often as we'd like to. Well, she just showed up at church, just out of the blue, wanted to hang out with us and be with us. And she had her boyfriend with her, and they've been going through a rough time. And this pastor talked on his, I mean, if you knew his story, it's like this is a man who was a pastor for years, doing all these things. Then he had an accident where he was literally, as you would say, literally in bed 20 hours a day for 13 years because of the brain injury. And he was told he would never recover.
Wow.
And he got to the point where he thought the best thing he could do for his family would be to take his life because he had insurance that would cover
Oh
his
man.
family. And he couldn't imagine he was going to be a burden. And this was a strong Christian man. I mean, God really put him through it. His wife, by the grace of God, got into the room just at the time where he had the gun out and stopped it.
Oh, my
I
word.
know. So he's telling the story, and then God healed him. I mean, miraculously, he was in a deep place of prayer and healing. I mean, here he is now, minister. He's back to working. He was told he would never function again, ever.
Good grief.
And my daughter had a brain injury at 18, and it was a miracle that she's functioning. So when you have a brain injury at an older age, it's way, way
Sure.
worse. So
Sure.
then he talks about he gets to that point. Well, then 3 years ago, his precious daughter was killed in a car accident. So he's
Oh,
talking about all these horrible things. He's in tears, we're in tears. But his
yeah.
whole point was being that our relationship with Jesus, he redeems things somehow. He knows where his daughter is. He redeems things if we trust him. And that's what I hope to do in every book I write is show the grace that we have in a redeemer. And that doesn't mean
Yeah.
we're all going to be healed this side of heaven. That doesn't mean we're not going to go through hard things, but there's a plan and a purpose. You think about Esther in the book of Esther or Joseph in Genesis and the things that they were put through and where God led them and what they did, these amazing things because of prayer, because of belief, because of faith. And that to me is the central key to writing. I would not be doing this if I did not have that belief and that draw and that call to
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah. I know for the couple in my book, it's because both of them took their eyes off Jesus somewhere along
Mhm.
the line. Um, and have a quote in the back of the book, which I never remember, but I'll tell you it here. It's a C.S. Lewis quote, and he
Mm,
says, "When I have learned to love God better than my earthly dearest, I shall love my earthly dearest better than I do now."
yeah,
Which is, I know it's kind of like an old-fashioned kind of way of saying it, but it's basically when I learn to love God more than my partner, that's when I will love them the best. It's putting God first, partner next, all the rest
exactly.
of it. This couple in particular in my book, they came really unglued because, and it didn't, it often doesn't happen overnight. It's usually a
Yeah.
very gradual, other things get in the way, right? Work or kids or whatever
Absolutely.
it might be.
Well, that's how the enemy
Um,
works. You get
Absolutely. Subtle.
distracted. Yeah.
Yeah,
We had
really
a
subtle.
pastor once who talked about if you have a married couple, you have the husband here and the wife here, and you've got up here. And the
Hmm.
closer that we draw to God, the closer we draw to each other.
No, that's good.
But
Yeah.
if you have a couple here and you've got one going up here and one staying down
Hmm.
here, you see you get
Yeah.
farther apart. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good visual, you know.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like Jesus isn't supposed to be a piece of the pie. He's supposed to be the whole pie.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I can come up with all these cliche things all day long. So your next story, have you started writing it yet?
I've finished it actually. Yes, I've
Oh,
just
you did.
yeah, it's got to be in
Wow.
September into my publisher in September. So I've just had my critiques back from our mutual friend Blossom
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's my critique partner. So I'm just going to be revising a little bit over the summer when I finish launching this one, and then it'll be in September, and it comes out in September 2027.
So you're doing what, 3 books a year? Is that how does
No,
that?
it's only one a year. So,
Okay.
like this one, one a year I think is great because I also do other writing too.
I
Like I
understand.
write Sunday school lessons
Right.
and do different stuff too. So one a year is a nice
Wow.
pace for me, I'll be honest.
Well,
I mean, I think I could probably do two if it depends what it is. Like novellas, I find I can definitely do a lot quicker.
right.
But
Less writing.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well,
It depends.
this is the first year I did only 1 book a year. I've been doing
Yeah.
3 books a year. And
Oh,
then
don't
when I
you
went
do it.
indie, and one of the reasons I went indie, my husband kept pushing me he said, why? I know authors that do one a year. Why do you have to do so much? You're just burning yourself out. And it was true because
Yeah, it's a
you're on
lot.
that hamster wheel with a publisher pushing it. But when I went independent this time last year, I was relaunching all my books under my own imprint. So
Mm.
that gives me the control to do what I want to do. And that one
Yeah.
book a year, I'm not used to that yet. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't written in a couple days, and I start stressing out. I'm supposed to be writing every day. And then I go back and I looked at that 5-year journal I was talking about. Well, this time last year, I hadn't even started the book that came out in April. My
Oh,
last book. I hadn't even
yeah.
started
See,
yet.
yeah.
I'm like,
You're
okay,
used to the speed.
used to the speed. So learning how to slow down. It's
Yeah.
okay not to do.
Enjoy the journey.
That's right. And see what God has, because there is,
Yeah.
if when it's all consuming, you really don't have time to do anything else. And I'm sure there are other things that God has for you, for me,
Oh, for
and beyond
sure.
writing.
Yeah, and I think we get those very blatant reminders from time to time of like whether it be family or in the community or church or whatever of like, hello, you are actually present in this
Right.
world also. As
Right.
much as we love to wrap ourselves in our stories
Oh yeah,
and getting engrossed, it's like no, we have to live our real life
we do.
first.
And there is other like I teach Sunday school and we have VBS, Vacation Bible School coming up, and I'm doing all the teaching of all the grades. for the
Oh my
Bible
goodness.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just started, and my husband, he's been doing, he's done missions and he's a Billy Graham chaplain. So he went to Taiwan in December with our
Oh,
pastor and some other people on mission to teach the children, the students, the real meaning of Christmas, So it was a
oh, that's so
beautiful,
cool.
it was a really cool trip.
Yeah.
But so they've asked him to do missions, and he's like, okay, how do I do this with 2 and 4 year olds? So he says, you got to help me because I teach those grades, I'm teaching the little kids. So we've been
Yeah.
working together on trying to get him settled and me trying to get settled. But it takes time. You can't teach vacation Bible school and not have to put a ton of time into prepping and being, right on.
Yeah.
So, it's life,
Yeah, it
just
is.
life.
It is. Yeah. And that's okay, I think. We don't need to beat
Boring.
ourselves up about that.
No, I'm very type A personality though. Do you ever do the Enneagram for your characters, like the Enneagram types?
Oh, totally, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
one.
I'm a five with a four wing.
You know what? My daughter is a four with a five wing. How interesting is that?
Oh, all
Ooh.
right.
In fact,
All
my
right.
character I'm doing in my book now is a four with a five or a five with a four wing. And I asked her, I said, Nikki, I said, are you a five with a? She goes, I have no idea. I said, let me send you this description. And I sent it to her. She goes, oh, Mom, that's exactly like I am. I said, I know. And I don't get you at all. So you're going to have to help me with this character because she makes no sense to me. But my husband is a nine, which is the peacemaker.
Yes. Oh,
So
that's nice.
yeah, I know. I'm blessed. I'm just blessed because I don't know. He doesn't want to argue about anything. Just let's just make good, make peace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wonderful.
yeah, it's nice. Ones need that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you have this book coming. Do you have a title for this new book coming out?
Yes, The Bleakest Midwinter.
Oh, the title of The
Ah.
Bleakest. How do you come up with your titles? They're always so good.
Some of them come really easy. Some of them I have to wrestle with for a little while. Yeah, that one, because it's a Christmas novella, I kind of wanted to have something, a bit of a riff on a carol, because that kind
Oh,
of works
yeah.
through. So, In the Bleak Midwinter is a popular carol, especially in England. So, the bleakest, of course, got to take it to the worst degree.
The Bleak
The bleakest
Midwinter.
midwinter.
The
Yeah.
Bleak Midwinter is a carol, a Christmas carol.
In the bleak midwinter. Yeah. Do you not know
Oh,
that one?
I do not. Maybe I know. I don't
Oh,
know. I know it. I need to
well,
look it
I
up.
don't know. It's a huge one in the UK, and seeing as how it's based there as well. And my poor mum, when I told her the title, she said, "Oh, that's my favorite Christmas carol." And I'm like, "Oh, mum, I'm so sorry. I think I've just ruined it for you with this book."
How funny. I'll have to
I
look that
know.
one up. I've been taking piano for the last year, and
Oh, good for
I know
you.
it's kind of fun. My grandpa was an amazing piano. He was like amazing, like a prodigy. He never learned how to read music. He just played everything by ear. That is not
Nice.
me at all,
Yeah.
not anywhere close.
Okay.
So I'm trying, but my piano teacher is just a sweet woman of God, just adorable. She's trying to keep me interested. She goes, I mean, I'm not interested in learning piano music theory. I don't, I'm
Yeah.
at my
Yeah,
age,
yeah,
it's like I just want to play. So she's
yeah. Yeah, sure.
giving me songs, so she'll give me like she gave me Even If by Mercy Me, that song.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working on that one for a couple of months now, finally getting it down. But then she'll give me some kind of like a Chopin or a really pretty classic song, and I'm going back and forth. So I might have played The Bleakest Winter and not even known it, The Bleak
You
Midwinter.
might have done that already.
I
Yeah.
know. You just never,
Check it out.
they call them something else. You never know. They call them Chopins or Etude by whatever, and you just don't know what they are. They change the names. So I have to check that one out. Well, it's been a thrill. Maybe when does The Bleakest Midwinter come out? Is it a year?
Yes, so that'll be September next year.
Now, did you say that's a novella?
Yes. Well, it's a long novella. I wanted to do a Christmas novella, but my publisher wanted it to be 55,000 words.
Okay,
So
it is a long
it's a
novella.
decent chunky novella.
Okay. Yeah. What typically are your length of your books? Like,
They're about under 80,000, between 75 and 80,000.
oh, okay. Mine are always hit 90 or more.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why it takes me so long to write. I don't know. It's been a pleasure as always, Laura. I love having you on. I always look forward to
Oh,
this.
thank you so much for having me. I'll come back next year to tell you about the next one.
Awesome. That'd be great. And I will put on here, I'll put all the links for you guys. Any of
Thank
you
you.
listening, I'll put all the links for her book and everything you need to know and her to her website so you can connect with her. And yeah, you'll be blessed. You need to follow this gal. She's a class act. So it's been so nice and thank you so much. And I just love speaking with you again.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer. Take care. See you next time.
Yes, I next time. Bye.
Bye bye.